Hello, hello, hello. This is Stevie Aisha Mills, and I am absolutely excited to bring you another episode of the Conversation with Stevie, the place where we talk about the why behind the what of what people do. And today we have an incredible guest, guys. I am excited. Just reading his bio, I know that you will be too. So he is a visionary, an entrepreneur, a speaker, an author, a panelist, executive producer, writer, poet, consultant, and social activist. He was born and raised in New York City. He has written poetry and prose and articles for over 37 years. His work has been published in major magazines, anthologies, and literary publications. He has written testimonials from everybody, y'all, from Essence Magazine, Emerge, Class, Harlem River Press, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he has won multiple poetry and talent contests. He has won several awards, such as a Peabody Award for Russell Simmons. Yeah, y'all heard me right. Russell Simmons presents Deaf Poetry. We love that, right? A Miky Award for Russell Simmons presents Deaf Poetry Jam on HBO. I know I used to watch that show. So amazing. And we're going to uncover some more of his bio here because I am absolutely excited. We've got to begin. Bruce George is in the building. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
Hey, I'm blessed, Stevie. How are you?
Doing well, doing well, doing well. I love what you stand for. I truly, truly do.
Thank
on
you.
a whole lot
really
of different
that.
levels.
You're
welcome.
It's a blessing to be here. First and foremost, I would like to thank the good Lord for blessing me to be here before you. I would like to thank you for having me, the conversation with Stevie. And I would like to thank your listening audience for listening in. Definitely.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I am grateful for just knowing about you is that you have a movement called Genius is Common. And that is amazing because I talk about the it factor. And the whole thing of genius is truly amazing. I love that. And so I would love to begin there and have you explain some of how that came about and what that is.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to give you the abridged version. I'm a social activist. I'm a child of God, right? My work is my ministry. And I'm a firm believer that our work is our ministry. When you see somebody at McDonald's flipping burgers, right? Those are ministers. You see somebody cleaning the street. That's a minister. You see somebody cutting hair or what have you. Every last one of those individuals are ministers, right? So when people hear the words ordained and minister, they myopically think of someone in a church or with a collar or what have you, what have you. No, not at all. God has this amazing sense of humor where he gives us this free will to do what he instills in us to do. You feel me? So, or how should I say it? Well, seeds us to do. So, for instance, God will say, I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a lawyer. I want you to be a boxer. I want you to be a painter. I want you to be an artist. I want you to be an architect. Right? And that's seeded in us before we were even born. Then when he gives birth to us, we have this seed that when we follow our spirit, right, we go right into what he already instilled in us. It's only when we try to be money-led as opposed to spirit-led that we miss the mark and don't feel a sense of purposeness or a sense of self-determination. And you hear it all the time. Oh, I'm making all this money, but I'm miserable. Well, you didn't listen to your spirit. You were money-led and not spirit-led. And so you're talking to a proud nerd, right? But a cool nerd, though.
I love it.
I'm into psychology, philosophy, classic literature, linguistic programming, metaphysics, body language, the law of attraction. I specialize in power, the word power tatted on my arm. I'm a wordsmith, word engineer, and I'm what you will call a master quotologist. And I've been one for over 40 years now, so I'm dating myself, right? So how the whole Genius is Common movement got started, it got started from one of my quotes. Because I would go around the country, Stevie, and I would ask the youth, when you hear the word genius, what image comes to mind? And they would always say Einstein or a light bulb or Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. And every now and then I would get a Jordan. And so that troubled me. So I said, you know what, let me write a quote about that. And the quote is, notwithstanding Einstein, genius is common. And then that turned into the slogan, Genius is Common, which turned into an entire movement. But Stevie, by God's grace, right now, our movement has a presence in all 50 states, 11 countries, with 14 ambassadors and growing. Our latest ambassador is Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers. He's the gentleman that taught Michael Jackson how to moonwalk, right? So he is our global dance ambassador to the Genius is Common movement. We have 13 other amazing ambassadors within the movement as well. On our website, we have over 450 videos from people from all walks of life, race, colors, creeds, sexual orientation, saying their name, saying what their genius is, and then saying Genius is Common. We have celebrities like crazy, Nick, that did Genius is Common videos, Nikki Giovanni, The Last Poets, the late Tommy Ford from the Martin Lawrence Show, Thelma from Good Times. We even have a Genius is Common video from the first black Bond girl from the James Bond flicks. Her name is Trina, right? Not to mention the rappers Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Melly Mel. I mean, there's a whole host of other people. And so, the reason why the movement is doing so well is because of the fact, Stevie, we've been lied to in reference to the word genius, right? And let me hurry up and give a shout-out to Marilyn Porter, Dr. Marilyn Porter. She's the one that connected me with you. She's a part of the Genius is Common movement as well. She's like fire, the Scatterbrain Genius. She's the founder of the Scatterbrain Genius, and she has a movement going on and organization, so I want to shout her out. And so the reason why this movement is on fire, Stevie, is because of the fact that we've been lied to, and this movement is an affront to that lie. And the lie is you're only a genius if you have 130, 140 IQ and Mensa. Have you heard of that, Stevie?
I have.
Absolutely. You've heard that lie, right? You're only a genius if you have 130, 140 IQ. That's nonsense. That was an arbitrary number made up at Stanford University to make you 1% of the population, which is rooted in elitism. You see, Stevie, what they don't want you to know, and your guests to know, that we know because the cat is out the bag and the jig is up, is the fact that the word genius comes from the word genie out of Northern Africa, not ancient Rome. And the genie is the guiding spirit of a person, or the guiding tutelary spirit of a person. So basically, you know where I'm going with this, right? So basically, the genius in us is the genie in us, and the genie in us is the God in us. And those that want to doubt that at this level of the conversation, Stevie, I'll say, well, let's take it to another level. Let's take the word genie and genes. Your total genes. Your genes is your total makeup. Let's take it to another level. Let's take the word genie and Genesis. Genesis is the what? The beginning, right? God is the what? The Alpha and the what? Omega. Omega. So we've been lied to. And so the Genius is Common movement basically is about tearing down the Berlin Wall of the word genius and putting it in the hands of the people where it belongs. So you take a young lady from a housing project that microbraids hair like Picasso painted, that's a genius. Bishop T.D. Jakes is a genius of a bishop, right? Dave Chappelle is a genius of a comedian. So if I were to ask you, Stevie, on your show, what is your genius? And we often have more than one. What would you say your genius is?
My genius is the ability to show up unapologetically.
Love it. Exactly. So that's the abridged version. So I didn't mean to, talk so long, but I just wanted to give you an abridged version.
No, I love it. I think it's important to know, and it really is what I believe in. First off, shout out to Dr. Porter. She is my coach. She is a great friend, a great mentor. She's yes. So some of this is from her teaching. I got to understand and be unapologetic about who I am, because I used to not want to be that way. And part of my own personal testimony is that I suffered from identity crisis for a lot of time because I didn't want to be seen for my genius, which was totally different than my education, because I do have an undergrad and a graduate degree. And for me, the next logical thing was to get a job. And so I did, and I ended up really, really sick and stressed out. And so I had to go through being a size 14 to a size 0, 3 colonoscopies within 30 days, 2 within 24 hours, and shingles because I was stressed out. So when I say, the message that you have is keenly important. It is, because so many people are living a lie, right? They're living a lie because they don't understand their genius. They don't understand their it factor. They don't understand who they are. I know that I would have circumvented a lot of my pain if I would have been able to know and own my genius, right? I never saw myself as having a radio show, a television show, working in PR. I did see that, but not for myself. And so when you talk about these things, yes, genius is common, and we all have it, and we all have to own it. And I know that you've taken some bold moves inside of your career to get where you are, and that is important to even note, because genius is common, but if you do not walk in your boldness and your truth, then you will not have such a global platform. And so what were some of those things that came to be that you had? Were you always bold in your truth, or did you say, okay, this is the day that I'm going to walk boldly no matter what?
That's a very good question. I had to grow into it. You know, Ozzie Davis said it best. He said, being an African-American, however, implies that something at the core of your existence is in crisis mode or will be at some point in life. He also said all struggles between the power to resist and the power to oppress. So I had to learn how to negotiate that, negotiate the fact that the level field, the playing field is not level due to the fact that, you know, I'm of African descent, and how, you know, due to racism and all the other isms, you know, I had to learn how to really negotiate that. So what that made me do is to study power, you know, to study power, to study my behind off. I don't have a library, I have a truthberry. So I said, you know what, a great equalizer is education, right? And I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to study their philosophers, I'm going to study their psychologists, I'm going to study their scholars, right? And I'm going to learn them inside and out, and I'm going to master it, and then I'm going to use it for my benefit. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I'm doing. And by God's grace, I'm going to continue to do. You know, when I told you I don't have a library, I have a truthberry. I study every single day. I have no less than 3 or 4 windows open. I'm a Google head and a YouTube head. I constantly listen to interviews. I listen to lectures. I listen to this. I listen to that. I read this. I read that. I'm very spoiled. I don't do fluff. You know, 50 Shades of Grey, that belongs in the fireplace. That's fireplace fodder. You feel me? And so, you know, if it's not a Miri or Voltaire or Chomsky or, you know, Neruda or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I'm real into, like, you know, Foucault. I'm into some heavy hitters, right? Because it's about stretching and believing in yourself. And, you know, and the thing about it is, you see, Stevie, I have a relationship with God. I have an amazing relationship with God. And I realize my purpose because my work is my ministry. So God has enabled me and to be able to do the things that I do because he entrusted me with the ministry. And so as a result of me and my Lord, me making a pact with my Lord that whatever stage you bring me on, I'm going to praise you. And you notice at the beginning of the interview, what did I say? I want to first thank the good Lord for blessing me to be here before you, right? So in the Bible, when he says praise him in the congregation is wherever people congregate. Doesn't mean it wasn't in a church. He didn't mean in the church. That's wherever people congregate, you praise his name. And that's exactly what I do. And so it's like Moses parting the sea, you know, really. It's like it's not as difficult as people think it is, right? It's about just you being in alignment with what it is that you want and not going upstream or going downstream and letting go of the oars. See, if you're not in alignment with it, it's not going to come to you. If you don't believe it, it's not going to come to you. If you're not facing it, it's not going to come to you. You know, it's the old law of attraction. That which is like unto itself is drawn. How you see something is how you treat it. How you treat it is how it becomes. Rene Descartes said, the French philosopher said, I think, therefore I am. Plain and simple. You know, plain and simple. That was a good question, though. I love questions. So, you know, I love questions. So ask away.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I am really excited about the fact that you have really leveraged. I get excited about leveraging things that we love to do. And so one of the things that is imprinted in your bio is truly about poetry. And I utilize poetry sometimes. I've been seen in different poetry clubs and poetry places. It's a small part of my genius. I would never say that I am, that's the whole totality of it, because I know magnificent people like yourself and all the other people who I've seen on Def Poetry Jam, and I really want to know, how did that platform come about, and what was the one thing that you were like, we have got to do this, and you actually went and made it happen?
You know, first of all, thank you for your support, and others for watching Def Poetry Jam. And it's because of your support and others, we wound up getting a Peabody Award for 6 seasons on HBO and a Tony Award for the Broadway version. I was the talent executive at HBO and executive consultant to the Broadway show. Danny Simmons, Deborah Pointer, Stan Lathan, Russell, all of us were a part of the whole, it being created. I was blessed I was seated with it, at which point I seated it to Danny seated it to Russell seated it to HBO, and the rest is history, right? And so everything I do is out of activism. I'm a social activist. I've been an activist forever, right? And so all of my projects are activism related, because it's not about the I, it's about the we. It's not about the individual, it's about the collective, right? And so in reference to the whole Def Poetry thing, I was back in the days of slam head. I mean, like way back. I made my bones in Brooklyn, and I was around some amazing people, Takala, Mums, The Schema, Saul Williams when he first came on board, Jessica came on when she first came to New York. Even prior to Jessica coming to New York, I was on the scene in New York, made a name for myself, and I was able to work my way up among the ranks, won multiple contests and slams and this and that, because I'm serious about my writing. I'm an engineer. I'm a word engineer. I've been a word engineer for God knows how long, right? And so work my way up, and formed a relationship with Danny, and one thing led to the other, And so it's just a matter of you just really just being locked in and loaded to what it is that you want. And, Emerson said it best: if you can write a better book than your neighbor, or preach a better sermon than your neighbor, or build a better mousetrap than your neighbor, the world will make a beating path to your door. Plain and simple. And a lot of people, though, Stevie, they give up. They give up when things get a little challenging for them, or the first person closes a door, or the second person closes a door, then they get real tight, And the bottom line, if Russell didn't bite, I was going to FUBU. There you go. It wouldn't have been called Def Poetry Jam. It would have been called something else. I even met with RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. I went to Staten Island, met him at a studio, and I pitched the idea of there being a poetry joint to him. He turned me down. And one of the FUBU brothers, I'm not sure if it was it wasn't Damon, it was one of the other FUBU brothers. I brought it to his attention. Got turned down. And then bookmarked that, and then eventually ran into Danny. Danny brought it to Russell, and the rest is history. And I was just determined. And you have to be that way. You can't have this sense of this sense of just giving up. And no, I don't do that. I don't stop until I get what I want, and I don't stop when I get what I want. How about that?
I love it.
Real talk.
I think that you're right. A lot of people do not have the opportunity, or do not take the opportunity to persevere, and we've heard so many success stories. I knew that one of my internships was with Walt Disney World in Florida, and one of the things that he said when he was alive, or that we know about his life, is that they thought he was insane.
Absolutely.
And the whole fact that you're talking about determination and perseverance, those are things that truly are amazing, because you're right. So many people give up in the fight. And how do you keep determined? What is one thing you're like, this is what I believe people should do to stay the course?
Well, the way I stay determined is because I know there's a certain lifestyle I want to live. And I'm rooted in I'm not trying to live my life where I'm just struggling financially, or just getting by, or just over broke. You know, I want to be able to leave a legacy for my family, right? And, you know, and that's what motivates me. I love working for myself. I love calling my own shots. And, you know, so I stay like that. You know, that will motivate you. You know, poverty is a motivator, a great motivator.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And when you think of struggling, and you think of, like, I mean, struggle is a part of life. I mean, Ozzie Davis said it best. He said, you know, all struggles between the power to resist and the power to oppress. You can't retire from struggle, but you can retire from struggling unnecessarily, you know. And so for me, it's just all about just really just getting focused, staying focused, and staying on my deen and doing what I know I need to do. You know, and in reference to geniuses, a lot of people don't see themselves as geniuses, or are not associated or affiliated with that, because we've been bamboozled to not realize that we are. You know, and when you talk about people that have mental issues or whatever, I mean, come on. It's like, yo, people, when they realize all of the people that are so-called geniuses, you know, from the traditional sense of the word genius, look at the mental issues they've had, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the famous people that were autistic. Dan Aykroyd, the comedian and actor, mm-hmm. he was autistic. You know, Susan Boyle, the singer, she was autistic. You know, Charles Darwin, autistic. Emily Dickinson, Bill Gates, Albert Einstein, Thomas mm-hmm. Jefferson, Steve Jobs, Michelangelo, Sir Isaac Newton. He had every damn thing. He was everything, you name it. Tesla, Nikola Tesla, Andy Warhol, William Butler Yeats was autistic, right? But we just, like, only look at it like, you know, like, oh, if we have some type of issue or whatever, then that takes us out of that. Absolutely not. You know, Buckminster Fuller said that every child is born a genius, but the process of life de-geniuses them, right? Even, you know, Einstein said we're all geniuses, and if you were to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it would spend its whole life believing that it's stupid. Right? Bottom line. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said that talent hits a target that no one else can hit, but genius hits a target that no one else can see. Right? That's the sweet spot right there. That's what separates you from everybody else, because one's culture plus experience equals one's frame of reference. So you're asking a great question.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that I'm doing working in my
You're doing your job. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing.
Thank you. I really want to ask you about this the mindset piece, right? The mindset piece that goes from somebody having the worst day of their life, seemingly, to having the best day in their life. Because we can look at the whole thing like, yes, I am a genius, but my genius is not getting me paid, right? And mm-hmm. a lot of times when people are in the arts or entrepreneurship, they are told, get a job, do this, do that, but the next day, something happens if they stay in the perseverance. Like, let's talk about the day before, how you were feeling when you were on this journey of meeting these amazing people and having them connected to your brand and your business and your ministry. What was that down point? Has there been a down point when you're like, okay, I want to quit? Or has it been?
Absolutely, okay. Absolutely. I've had, absolutely, because, and that's another good question. Here it is, you're at a job, working for somebody, and you're basically slave wage. You're working for them for slave wages. You're building their empire or legacy, right? And they're the head honcho. And if you don't speak to them in a certain way, if you don't act a certain way, if you don't dress a certain way, they get rid of you. You see, and the type of personality that I have is one where I'm real with mine, okay? If I speak to you once, I'm not speaking. You can walk past me 9 times a day, 1,000,000 times a day. You're not going to hear from me for the rest of the day. So if you're my employer, I'll give you a, hey, good morning. And then after that, you're like, good night or whatever. But people expect for you to, every time they walk by you, hey, how you doing? I don't do that. I don't do the butt kissing, and, people say I don't do it well. I don't do it at all. So my type of personality would not allow me to stay on the plantation. I just don't have that plantation mentality. And that's not to take away from people that working in 9-to-5s and connoting or implying that they have that mentality. Absolutely not. You have some real soldiers that's, in corporate America, and I was one of them, that just don't take no mess. But you see, you have to learn how to work the office politics, right? And I got tired of working that. The way you work, the way you cut through office politics is you don't become their friend, but you don't become their enemy. So you don't click up, because when you click up and you join these little cliques, okay, then that's when you eventually get ousted, okay? Because the bottom line, whoever's the head honcho, they're not going to be uncomfortable in their own house. So here it is, you're around people talking about who? The head honcho. And then the word gets from them, and then they always say you said it, okay? Yeah. And then the next thing you know, you're out. You're out the door. So, for me, it's just all about just, I didn't want to be in that environment. So that was a real turning point for me where I said, I'm tired of working for somebody else. I know I can do better. But I'm going to give you a real turning point. It was one time where I saw Russell. It was at his old Russ Communications office in the Fashion District. And I was watching him being interviewed. And they came into the office, and all these lights was licking his face. The flash bulbs was licking his face. And he was smiling for the camera. And then I remember as soon as they stopped filming him, that smile he had on his face vanished. And he went back to work. And that was a turning point for me. You know what? I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And I never looked back since. Bottom line. So you have to really, really, really determine and make up in your mind that enough is enough. You have to Fannie Lou Hamer it. You Fannie Lou Hamer it and be like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. Like, yo, I'm done. And until you reach that Fannie Lou Hamer moment, you're going to stay exactly where you at. Right? And you see, there's no hopscotching between being in corporate America and then doing your own thing, and then you trying to have one foot in and one foot out. No, the bottom line is there's never going to be a smooth transition from you working for yourself, from you working for someone else to you working for yourself. You're going to lose money. But what you lose in money, you're going to gain in independence. You're going to gain in esteem. You're going to gain in self-determination, and you live in, and you're going to gain in purpose. And then eventually the money will catch up, and then eventually it will surpass because those hours you're going to be putting in are going to be vested in you and your legacy. So if you wait for a smooth transition before you move on and become an entrepreneur, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And General Patton said, you must have what is called the non-retreatist attitude, meaning like full speed ahead. No looking back, no turning back. So for me, I've been an entrepreneur now for like, God knows, over like 20 some odd years. Ever since I created, the Poetry Jam, that's it. Never look back. So you have to have a non-retreatist attitude and saying to yourself, you know what, I'm moving forward. That's it. And you just can't look back. You have to just go full speed ahead. Come hella high water, I'm not going back. And until you reach that point, you will continue to be there. You get comfortable in your uncomfortability, and that'll be your plight the rest of your life. And woe to a person that does that because, either you have the choice of working for someone else or working for yourself, building somebody else's legacy or building your own. And I choose the latter of the two. Real talk.
That's powerful. And I have one more question because I know you're busy. Sure. You have to get back to your life.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I have call at 4:30, but I'm good. I have time.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yes, I am enjoying this conversation. It's amazing just to learn. I am learning a lot, and I know our listeners will learn a lot too. And one of the questions that I ask most people who come to this platform is really like, what is that one thing you're like, Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without people knowing this. What is this? And when we come back from this question and answer, then depending on if I have another one to spark, then I'll ask you. If not, we'll make sure that we get your contact information. But I really want to make sure that we have everything that you feel we need to say today?
Mm-hmm. So you said you want to make sure what?
That we have uncovered everything you feel like we have to say today. So what is that
one thing that I would like for your audience, your listening audience, to first of all, I want to thank them for listening in. And I would love for your listening audience to go to geniusiscommon.com, which is going to switch to .me, and check out some of the videos. I would love for them to go to our Facebook group page, which has over 27,500 members, which is not bad for a Facebook group page. Go to Facebook and put in Genius is Common Group or Genius is Common Group page and join the group. We'd love for them to do their own Genius is Common videos, at which point they can upload that to YouTube. So they would say their name, say what their genius is, talk about themselves, and the last words they'll say is Genius is Common. And just know that, this movement is really tearing down the Berlin Wall of the word genius and putting it in the hands of the people where it belongs. We're an anti-elitist movement, and we have more and more celebrity videos on its way from some amazing people. So stay tuned for that. And, just believe in yourself. The devil's a liar. What works for me is that I have an amazing relationship with God. And that's who I run to, and that's who has hid me in his pavilion. Right? They can't hit what they can't see. Right? Bottom line.
That's right.
So I'm not in the party. I did the party and done that. So, I didn't even know who was playing in the Super Bowl until the day after the Super Bowl. How about that? And I'm a man saying that. I didn't even know who was playing until the day of. I could care less. You see, for me, all those things are distractions. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with you enjoying yourself or whatever. But every time you watch that movie, you're watching somebody on their job. Every time you watch that basketball game or that sport, you're watching somebody that's getting paid. They're on their job, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, but make sure that you are building your legacy. Who's paying you? What are you doing? Like, who's coming to pay you? Who's paying attention to you? Who's tuning into you, turning on to you? Who's tapped into you? And that's what it's about. Just really just take advantage of the time that God has blessed us. And James Baldwin said it best. He said, the arbitrary nature of time and the limits set to your endeavors is contained in 2 words, the end. Plain and simple. So it's important that we not shuck and jive with our time. We waste a lot of time. Here you on social media, 19 hours a day, like, yo, all of that time could go into you doing you, because there's this thing called the law of apprehension. When you give to something, you take away from something else, right? And that's the bottom to that line, as they say. But you ask amazing questions. The conversation with Stevie is really, really, really dope. I'm going to be tuning in, and I want a Genius is Common video from you, so you already know.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. On one of our pages. We have 7 pages of videos. Get you on one of our pages. Get you on a highly trafficked page, and we're going to make it happen.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for just the work that you are doing. Thank you for the perseverance that you have. Definitely give us your website one more time.
Sure, it's www. I'm old school. I'm still saying www. Geniusiscommon.com. My age always comes out. Geniusiscommon.com, which is going to switch to .me. You see that geniusiscommon.com or geniusiscommon.me, either one. And praise God for this platform that you have. This is an amazing platform where people will have the opportunity to hash out their issues and work through their issues, and whether it's self-esteem related or fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of failure, just you working through people as a coach. I think that's invaluable. It's so dope for you to be able to just help people do what they do. I know you pinching yourself with where you're at, so keep up the amazing work yourself.
Thank you. I'm excited about just the opportunity that I have. Like I told you, I was on a job I hate and never imagined living the life I love. So, yes, it's a blessing. And, again, everybody, you've heard it here. You've heard some amazing knowledge, some amazing lessons, some amazing, just realness. Realness. I love it. I feel empowered to do whatever we got to do. We all are genius, and, yes, genius is common. So definitely check out Mr. Bruce George. I am sure that he will be back for us to learn more and more about what's going on. Yes,
yeah, we'll be back. It will be honored to be back. Well, thank you for your show. Thank you for the platform, and big up to Dr. Porter for making it. Yes. Yeah, no doubt.
It's incredible to have somebody who is who's here and doing the work, and so just rich with knowledge. And again, this is Stevie Aisha Mills. I am available at Stevii.com. You just have to know how to spell my first name, Stevii, not I-E, not one I, none of that, Stevii. I always tell people to make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Right. Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. And check us out on Wednesdays. You can find me also on the TV show, the Just Stevie TV show, and that is bit.ly, the Just Stevie show. So see you later. Bye.
God bless you. Peace.